What the fuck? What the fuck is
I
that?
don't even know. Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or whatever. Longsman. Longsman and SnowShovel back for episode 4. And, we've been kind of procrastinating with this one. It's Monday morning. I was gonna get this done a lot earlier this week, but Longsman has shit to do, apparently.
Alright, yeah, that's right. So, Miss Scoozy, everybody. Anyway, we got plenty of shit, plenty of random stuff to talk about. Okay, let's just get started. Apparently, you got something special in the mail. Tell us about that.
I got my new mouse. It's called the Zowie AM. And if you
The
know
hell
what
is
that
this now?
is, it's basically a Xi copycat. It's not exactly like a Xi, but it's pretty close. Like the shape-wise, it's ambidextric, and it's got the same. It's basically the same shape. It's just a little skinnier. But
For those
anyway,
of you that are 12 or younger, that means you can use it with both hands.
wow. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, it uses an optical sensor instead of a laser. Optical is better than laser for gaming, especially for FPS. It's a lot more reliable with the tracking, and yeah, in general, I think optical is better than laser. So
You
anyway, I got,
so much bullshit for that in the comments.
yeah, I know, and everyone's gonna be like, I thought you used a Xi, Snow. Why are you using a new one now? But yeah, the Zowie, it's a good mouse. It's a good mouse. I think it's better than the Xi. I just got it. Yeah,
The
I got a
problem is
Zowie.
you have to get it overseas, right?
Yeah, if you live in the U.S., you have to get it shipped from the UK or a country from Europe because they don't have it here yet. I think they're gonna bring them over next month. I could be wrong, but yeah. If you don't know who Zowie is, they are a professional gaming company endorsed by Hedon and Spawn from CS 1.6, and they have amazing stuff. So go check out their site at zowiegear.com.
Yeah. Europe gets all the good shit. They always have the good gaming stuff.
I know.
So you have to pay extra shipping to get it. But, I mean, take it from Snow, it's worth it.
It's a good mouse.
Alright. Oh yeah. Just, just, we just need to do this. Just get this out of the way. Talk about you and macroing, Mr. SnowShovel. Shame on you.
Okay. Yeah, I think I get that comment more than anything with the para. Actually,
Because we all know you macro.
I know
I mean,
it's pretty
seriously, did you
obvious.
see that video of all headshots? That was freaking
Man,
nuts.
I mean, macros really helps you with aiming, doesn't it? But no, I do not macro. I don't understand why people say I do. I think it's because they don't understand that you can use the para if you know how. All you gotta do is tap it, and it won't jump and bloom and have insane recoil. You just have to tap it really fast. And if you can tap it really fast, if you're one of those people, then you already know that I don't macro, because you can do it too. It's not hard, so I don't understand why I get macro accusations, because it's pretty obvious I don't. Like, I'll tap really fast if it's really close. I might even burst fire on accident. I'll tap a lot slower at long distance, and then I'll zoom in and tap even slower at really, really long distance. So, if you think I'm macro, you don't understand what a macro is, and, I mean, that's just what it is. I don't macro, so get over it.
Yeah, and go ahead and cancel your tournaments right now.
Yeah, unsubscribe if you think I'm macro. I'm not even kidding. I don't care. Moving on.
Alright, so now we got that out of the way. Let's just talk about the game in general. So, there are some things that I notice, they kind of suck. Like, it's not very balanced right sort of balanced, but there are some things that could
Talking
be,
about class balance.
yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Like, what class is, like, OP, what class is underpowered right now?
Obviously, scopes are overpowered because of the way they are. I mean, it's probably... That's one of those classes where you get rewarded for aiming extremely well, and it's really overpowered if you're really good at it. And
Hell yeah.
That's why it's overpowered. But if you're like mediocre, you're not gonna think a scope's overpowered. But if a good person's playing a scope, it's really hard to beat them. Rifles are pretty average. I mean, it's probably the most forgiving class because you have defense and you can spray bullets. And if you miss, you have 29 extra more bullets to shoot at them, or 24 or whatever. But yeah, rifles are very forgiving. So that's pretty normal, and they're pretty versatile. Point Man are underpowered as shit. Dear
Yeah, they're
God.
terrible, man.
Like, I can't even begin to describe how awful it is to be a point man in this game, because you get almost no advantage at all. I mean, even if you have run speed, you can't get to a hot zone fast enough to make it effective. Like, I feel like point men need to be, like, 2% faster when they run, because the way it is now, they get to a hot spot, like, quicker than anyone, but they don't get to a spot that gives them the
Meaningful.
advantage. Like, they don't get to a certain place, like, let's say, Spiral at India. A pointman can run down Spiral, but by the time he gets to the bottom of Spiral, a scope can already peek him there. And
Oh
a scope can
yeah.
peek him at Mini Spiral, and, like, scopes are the slowest class, so the fact that they can get there and just stop him in his tracks before, he even has a chance, I mean, it's just awful. They need to go faster. They either need to move faster, or... No, I honestly think that's what they need to do. They need to have faster sprint speed, and that's it. Either that, or some sort of rebalance between the classes, because point men are just worthless right now. There's, like, other than having the move speed, there's no reason to go point men, because their guns are awful. Their SMGs get outgunned by a para up close. I mean, MK3s can even outgun a Varesk sometimes. It's just awful. Like, they don't have any advantage other than speed, and speed is barely an advantage when you only move like 5% faster than the other classes. I think their
Yes.
run speed, I think if they made it, I think if their run speed was like lower, like almost like I don't know what the perk is in Call of Duty, but the one that makes you run silent.
Oh, like ninja. Oh,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it basically just makes their footsteps a lot more quiet. I think that would be good balance for point man. Either that or, like, some sort of stealthy shit, like, if they shoot at a guy, they don't... Or if they get lit on map. Let's say, like, you shoot a
Yeah.
point man, they should not light up on map. I think that would be another good balance.
All right.
Um,
So we got a couple ideas here.
but yeah, like, I think just point men need a buff. Point men need a buff. They need some sort of movement buff. They need some sort of stealth buff. I don't know. Their guns need a buff too, because other than the Varesk and... Yeah, the
That's
Varesk.
it.
Right now, the Varesk is the only gun that really...
MP7, maybe.
Gun's way too weak, that's the problem. It's
Uh,
too weak. The only time a pointman will outgun someone is if they're not looking at them. Or if they're in their face. And even if they're in their face, they have a chance to die from a para. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just...
yeah.
They need more damage up close. I think they need to have a gun like the SR3M come out, but I think it needs to do a bit more damage than 38. It needs to do like 40 up close. Then it'd be balanced. But
All right.
anyway,
How many of those do you see in Clan Wars?
what?
Point. How many
Um,
do
a
you
lot
see?
of teams will try and run one, but they're not very effective, because there's
Oh, yep.
there's very few situations where a point man's really effective, and it's all about timing. And if you
Yeah.
don't get the timing down, then you might as well just have a rifleman instead, because if you're not using the point man speed to your advantage, then there's no reason to run a point man. And if you're not flanking with a point man, then you shouldn't be running a point man.
All right. Well, in that case, speaking of Clan Wars, so what should people do for a Clan War? Like, how should they prep? How should people run their strat?
Clan wars are... I don't know. See, the problem with clan wars, there's so much shit that you have to do to get your team to be effective. You all have to communicate. That's probably the most important thing about clan warring, is everyone talking. If two people are talking on your team, then you're not clan warring, you're playing a pub with 3 other people.
Yeah. And
See
for
what I'm saying?
goodness sake, people, get a good freaking microphone, would you?
Yeah, I hate it when people jump into my chat with, like, a potato mic, and I can't hear what the fuck they're saying. Random rant, but anyway, communication, very important. I think that's the number one thing you should work on if you are making a team. Communication is probably the most important thing for clan warring, other than uh, positioning and actually aiming. But communication is one thing a team should always be focusing on.
Wait, a lot of people want to know about the actual strat, though. You know, like to win.
Strats?
I don't know.
Okay, well, the problem with strats in ABA is that a lot of people will have, like, these insane strats where they, like, go over certain smokes or certain nades before pushing and yada yada. They have, like, perfect positioning for their teammates, and they think it's the most amazing strat in the world, and that if they run it, it'll be successful. But the problem is, nothing ever goes according to plan. Like, you need to be able to you need to adapt. Like, if your scope gets picked off, that strat is probably worthless because of the way you set it up. You can't be strict about your strats. You need to be very flexible. So, if you're running a strat, um, your team should be able to adapt accordingly. And if they can't, then you shouldn't be running strats at all. You should be running, I don't even know what to call it. Just splits, like random splits, and then try and improve from there. You shouldn't be running a very strict, like, blueprint, because if you don't follow it, then it's not going to be
Your
effective.
team will fall apart.
Yeah, and you don't want to be a headless chicken. So
Yeah.
it's
Keep your
better
team fluid then.
it's better to just run simple plays, basically. Run simple plays and then get more advanced. Don't go advanced and expect success. You need to go simple and then get more complex as you grow as a team, because your chemistry is going to develop, and then your teammates are going to know what you're talking about, and they're going to understand, like, the strat after you go over it with them, and after you go through, like, a real world experience with them. I don't, like, I'm probably just talking shit right now, but
No,
basically go simple and then go complex, because that's what you need to do. It's better that way. Baby
very well
steps.
put. Yeah. So if you want to make a team, make a team. Make your simple strats.
Simple
Join
strats
some.
focus on communication, and then after you
Yeah.
develop that, then you can go over more complex shit. That's what I
Practice
would
on
do.
harder teams. Don't dodge.
Don't dodge good teams. It
Yeah.
sucks when you lose, but if you don't know what you're doing wrong, then you won't know what you're doing right.
Yeah. And join uncanceled tournaments. Yeah.
Well, which there are none. This game is not very competitive anymore, so let's try and...
Gotta. They gotta work. Okay. All y'all gotta work on that. Okay. So, last thing. Rando tip of the day. Random tip to help your average experience get a little bit better.
Um,
So, what's your rando tip?
uh,
Just random.
okay. Don't jump. Jumping is bad.
Yeah.
Jumping is so bad. Um, especially I join a sniper no semi or whatever, and the one thing I see more than anything is people jumping. And
Mhm.
when you snipe, you should never be jumping, because when you're in midair, you can't scope, you can't
But they want
kill
to dodge
anyone.
bullets. How about that?
It's you, no, it doesn't accomplish anything. It's actually easier to hit a guy in the air than it is to hit a strafing target, because when you're in the air, you're predictable for a full half second. But if you're
That's
on
true.
the ground, you can change the course of your direction at any given point. So if you're jumping, you're just being predictable. You're not actually dodging anything. You're just being more predictable. Not to
Mm.
mention, when you jump, you make the second loudest noise in the game, other than gun sounds. Jumping, you can hear across the map, so if you're jumping around and you're the only guy left, they're gonna fucking hear you. They're gonna hear your jumping before they hear your footsteps. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
But,
So,
yeah, no jumping. If you're sniping, don't jump. If you're a rifle, don't jump.
don't jump.
There's very, 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 very few situations where jumping is effective, and personally, I don't jump ever. If you jump as a rifle, you're just giving away your position. They specifically made the game so that rifles have really bad accuracy when you jump. Every single rifle in this game has terrible accuracy when you jump, so don't jump. If you're a point man, it's okay to jump. Because you don't get a penalty. Well, you get a small penalty, but it's not that bad. Jumping as a point man is effective, so if you're a point man, you can jump. Other than point man, unless you absolutely have to jump, like you're jumping in the vent at India, or you're jumping to get on top of a ledge or something, then you should not be jumping. It doesn't help you. It makes you worse. You shouldn't be jumping. You shouldn't be focusing on dodging bullets. You should be trying to kill people. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
don't
goes
jump!
to show. Don't dodge. Actually, no. Let's zoom out a little bit. Don't dodge bullets.
Yeah, it's
Just
like,
strafe back and forth.
yeah, unless you're using an MK3, and even an MK3, I mean, I don't know. I don't use MK3, so I can't speak for them, but strafing in general as a rifle, not effective. It's easier to just use angles and crouch shoot and tap shoot, yada yada. Like, use distance to your advantage. Don't fucking strafe in the middle of somewhere and try and get kills unless you absolutely have to. Point men should be the ones that are strafing and shooting and jumping and doing all that crazy shit, not rifles, not snipers.
True story from SnowShovel.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. That's our number 4 commentary.
It make you throw up when you realize your favorite rapper ain't got no nuts. Scared motherfucker, go